Everyone, welcome back to another episode of the TV Tray Sessions here at Guitar Talk with Todd. Thank you guys so much for checking in and joining me and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, do me a favor and please hit that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. You know I appreciate it. We always have weekly posts, sometimes more than weekly. Artist interviews, product reviews, lessons, guitar reviews, and today on the TV Tray Sessions, we're going to sit down here at our TV tray and feature a great piece of music memorabilia. As always, we are powered by Death Wish Coffee. I'm in a Boston mug here. We love Boston. We salute our friends in Boston. So grab some Death Wish and drink up here and join me. Powerful stuff. All right, so today we have another historical piece of music memorabilia here. You guys know I love Howlin Wolf. I have a Howlin Wolf shirt on. Huge hero of mine. Whenever anybody asks me about vocalists and singing, especially an influence on me, Howlin Wolf is at the top there, in my opinion. Nobody comes close. I always say there's blues singers and there's Howlin Wolf. He is, I just love the Howlin Wolf. We're going to have more stuff with Howlin Wolf on here. We already have had some. Check out my review and I did here of the Shindig contract when Howlin Wolf joined the Rolling Stones on Shindig in the 1960s. Did a whole review on that, episode. There you go. So check it out. I'll put the link below. But today we have a classic Chess Records, 1955. This was released actually. And this is a 78, and it's in pristine condition. I'm going to put some close-ups of this on here for you guys while we're talking about it. And this is the classic tune. Howlin Wolf had a huge hit with 44. This is released as Chess 1584, and it's a 78. And these are just special all around because they have the great Chess logo on there, the blue and white. And I mean, you just gotta love 78s in general. This one's in fantastic condition. And but what makes this one even extra special, like I said, we're gonna get some close-ups here of this, is it was a disc jockey copy. So these are really rare and really collectible in the field out there of people that collect memorabilia, especially in the blues world. And what this is, obviously this was put out by Chess, and they would stamp these with the red stamp, which you can see on here, that basically says disc jockey copy, not for sale. So it's pretty cool to think about that, these were distributed to, the radio stations, and in 1955, which was when this was really rolling along, this was actually being played in a radio station somewhere out there. So it's just really cool to think about, and a great piece to have. It's in fantastic condition. If you're familiar with the old 78s, they're, pretty thick vinyl, obviously. A little bit smaller than a 33, and 78s were like this. That singles were put out on these before the 45s became popular. You can find this on a 45 too, as Chess 1584 44. Let's talk about that song for a second here. As far as 44 goes, the actual song, it kind of, if you trace the blues history of it, it's kind of more known as a barrel house instrumental. I'm talking going way, way back. And it was played primarily, like we said, as just a shuffle instrumental type of a piece. And then most historians agree around 1929 or so, Roosevelt Sykes is the first person credited to putting like lyrics to it actually, and it becoming 44, which then became a standard in the blues world. And then in October of 1954, Howlin Wolf went in with a fantastic band, which we're going to talk about here in a second, and recorded this version, which has just become the standard as far as I'm concerned, and most people, because I love the Wolf. He just blew the roof off the place with this version, and that was it. That's pretty much the standard. So again, this was recorded by Howlin Wolf in 1954, October of 1954 at Chess Records here in Chicago. And the band he had with him at the time were the fantastic team of Jody Williams and Hubertsumlin on guitar. Any of you familiar with me and watching this channel know how much I love both those guys. I was around both those guys a lot. Hubert way more than Jody. I got to know Hubert on a pretty good level, and I was around him many times. Awesome guy, huge influence on me and the music world in general, and just a great, great guy. And so yeah, Hubertsumlin on guitar, Jody Williams on guitar, Willie Dixon on bass, which doesn't surprise you. Willie did most of the bass stuff there at Chess, and kind of ran the place as a producer and whatnot too, along with the Chess brothers. Otis Spann on piano. Come on, that's like the standard for piano players. And then I believe it was Earl Phillips on drums playing on this one. And 44, just a classic Wolf tune, and a classic teaming there of Jody Williams and Hubertsumlin. You can hear like the and then, you know, I'm doing a bad impersonation here. But put the track on. I'll try to put the link below so you guys can listen to it. But you've got the two guitar parts going on there with the two guys. That's just classic stuff. I mean, the template right there for so many things that followed. But I also want to talk about the flip side of this Chess 1584, which is another tune credited to Howlin Wolf, Chester Burnett, I'll Be Around. And this gets my vote for whenever people ask me, you know, well, what can I listen to really hear the power of Howlin Wolf's voice? Put on I'll Be Around. You don't have to wait very long. The song comes crashing in, and it's funny, even if you turn it up, which I recommend, and it's loud, you know, the music gets the thing started, and then the minute Wolf comes in, you know, I'll be around with that in that first, it's just like 2,000 times louder than what the rest of the music is. It's just, that's power personified, in my opinion. Written by Chester Burnett, Howlin Wolf, and that's just, to me, maybe the finest example of the power in his voice. We've talked about this on this show before. Sam Phillips, who ran Sun Records in Memphis and discovered all the rock and roll greats, Elvis, of course, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, but before that, in the early 50s, before Elvis and them walked through the door in the mid 50s, in the early 50s, walking through that door were Howlin Wolf, Ike Turner, several, B.B. King, a lot of people, blues artists recorded, Roscoe Gordon, those guys all recorded inside Little Milton, inside Chess Records, inside Sun Records. And then later, Howlin Wolf moved to Chicago and recorded for Chess Records, which is what this is. But a lot of the earlier stuff recorded at Sun down in Memphis was, not put out on the Sun label. It was leased out to other, so a lot of that would end up on the Chess label. But the earlier Howlin Wolf stuff wasn't recorded, with Willie Johnson on guitar and stuff like that. That was not recorded at Chess. It was the later stuff that was recorded once he had moved up here. But anyway, Sam Phillips, who ran and owned Sun Records in Memphis and recorded Howlin Wolf many times, always cited him as the greatest artist he ever discovered. He said he would give anything to have a video of, you know, the wolf in the studio, like the veins would just bulge out of his neck, and he said like the only thing he was thinking of was that song. And I think the quotes were something along the lines of, he sang with his damn soul. And when I heard this, I said to me, this is for me, this is where the soul of man never dies. And I don't think you could say it any better than that. I totally agree. There's something in Howlin Wolf's voice that just, the way he delivered a song, it just can't be matched. I've never heard it matched to this day, and I've heard a lot of singers. There's just something about Howlin Wolf. He just had something in him. And as far as power goes, put on I'll Be Around. Like I said, he doesn't waste any time letting you know. That first verse, it just knocks you down coming out of the speaker, and that's the flip side of 44 here on Chess 1584. So, pretty short, simple episode here today. I just love these old 78s. Obviously, the sleeve is not original. It had been kind of trashed from going around all these years, and truth be told, this is probably a better sleeve than what it originally came in. Standard yellow sleeve, which is what you want to keep these in. But these are just fantastic to find, these old Chess 78s with the blue and white Chess logo on there. And you know, the really neat thing about this one, like I said, which makes it extra special, is it is stamped as a disc jockey copy, and you just gotta love that. So I'm gonna put close-ups on here, like I said, for everyone. I might have already done it when I go back and edit this and put them in here somewhere throughout the clips so you guys can get close-ups of it. But these old 78s are great. We're gonna be featuring more of these here on the TV Tray Sessions at Guitar Talk with Todd. I know I have some of Hank Williams that are, I mean, these things are like a dinner plate. They're so thick, you know, you could eat off them, although I do not do that. If you have one of these, tuck it away and treasure it. This particular one I found many years ago at a garage sale, believe it or not. It was a lady who had these, and she said she was not the original owner. She had bought it from someone as well, but she had it for a long time, and I just couldn't believe. I was flipping through and I saw, wow, like, how are you kidding me? And it's a disc jockey copy. Whoa. And it's just cool when you find stuff like that. So this has definitely been something I've always treasured. And like I said, you'll see a million of these out there. Maybe not a million, but quite a few of these old Chess 78s. They're just cool to have, even if they're not a disc jockey copy. But if you can find one with the red stamp on there, those are extra collectible because they're really rare. And you know that that's one of the ones that it's just kind of cool to think about, that this is one of the actual copies that went out over the airwaves, and for many people was the first time they ever heard this Howlin Wolf version of 44, and, you know, I'll Be Around, if they did happen to play the flip side of this. Interesting things to note on here. You know, like I said, it is Chess 1584, manufactured by Chess Record Corporation, Chicago, Illinois, which you always saw at the bottom of all the chess stuff. The Howlin Wolf, you know, it's kind of a interesting thing about how many times you saw variations of his name, just Howlin Wolf. In this case, it says the Howlin Wolf. Howling Wolf with a G, which interestingly enough, I know he actually preferred, they said, you know, Wolf, himself actually preferred Howling, Howling, Howling Wolf, instead of Howlin Wolf with just the N and an apostrophe at the end. So that's interesting. So when you would see, if you see clips of, check out the clip below of the Shindig contract that I did a episode on, when you see him sign Chester Burnett and Howling Wolf, he puts it with a G at the end. So he always signed his name that way. If he did sign Howling Wolf, if he signed Chester Burnett, then obviously it was just Chester Burnett. But you will see on a lot of things he would put both Chester Burnett and then Howling Wolf, and he'd always put the G on there at the end. So this is kind of an interesting side note there. But Thanks for checking in today, everyone. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. Anything about Howlin Wolf, Jody Williams, hubertsumlin, Otis Spann, Willie Dixon, Chess, The Blues, Sam Phillips, Sunrecords, anything we're talking about here, Earl Phillips, the great drummer, any of that stuff that we kind of mentioned here today that connects to this, go ahead and comment below. Do you have a 78 of Howlin Wolf or another artist that you really like? The 78s are real collectible, and I just love them even more than the old 33 vinyl, which is great. That's all being reissued now, which I love to see. I mean, who would have thought vinyl would ever be making a comeback, but it's so great to see that it is. But these old ones here. This particular one, I kind of cut myself off there rambling earlier, but like I said, it was recorded in October of 1954 at Chess, and there's kind of a debate there as to when it was released. Most people say January of 1955 is when these started to get circulated out there, this particular disc jockey copy. You will see some people say like December of 1954, so it was recorded in October of 1954, so it is possible by December the pressings were done and it was being put out there, but most of the time when you look at the official release, it says January of 1955 for 44 with I'll Be Around. On the flip side, Chess Records 1584 there. So like I said, please comment, you guys. Thanks for checking in today. Thanks as always to Death Wish Coffee, Valhalla Java, and our Boston mug today. So drink up. Please, you guys, hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. Help me out. You know I appreciate it. We'll have more Howlin Wolf stuff because I love the Wolves. We got a lot more Howlin Wolf memorabilia coming, and just various things about him, hubertsumlin as well, and any of those guys, other blues artists, of course, and just music memorabilia in general, guitar reviews, of course, lessons, artist interviews, all that stuff coming your way. So hit that subscribe button and help me out, and so you don't miss anything that is coming up. Find me on Facebook at toddbeebemusic. And we will see you guys again. Thank you so much for checking in today. Stay safe and love your dogs. Take care.